Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Retro Fix It, and today we're going really retro with a Nintendo Game Boy, the original Nintendo Game Boy. So I got this on eBay. I'll show you guys the listing on the screen for this. It did say on the listing that there was an issue with the select and start buttons not working, so they couldn't sort of start the game, and you know, you couldn't really do much without the start button, obviously. Now when I tried this, I put batteries in it. It was completely dead. It didn't come on at all. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's got another problem. Then I came back and tried it a little bit later, and then it came on. So it seems that there's an issue with the power, or getting power to it. We'll have a look into that. When I did get it on, the start and select buttons do work, but I had to press them really hard. So I reckon it's probably just a matter of sort of dirt and cleaning that up. But I did also find another issue, well, another two issues which weren't mentioned. So yeah, let's look into it and let's see if we can get this fixed. So one of the first things that I found, which seems a common problem with these old Game Boys, is the screen protector came straight off. You can see the glue is basically sort of really dried out. These games are from the 90s, I believe. So you know, they're doing about 30 years old now, some of these games, I think. So the glue's obviously sort of given up, and it's just sort of fallen off. So this needs to be be glued back on, which should be fairly easy to do. Otherwise, there's a little bit of yellow in here, and a little bit on this side for some strange reason on the two sides here. It came with Super Mario Land 2, which is a really good game for the Game Boy. And well, other than that, there's a bit of a big nick here, but other than that, it's okay. It just needs a good clean. There's a bit of paint on here as well. There's a headphone jack. Obviously, we'll test that as well, make sure that's working, the volume and all that stuff. So let's put some batteries in it, and let's see if we can get it to come on first. I did own one of these when I was a kid. I remember very well playing many a night on this under the lamp because these original Game Boys didn't have backlights, so you really struggled to play in the dark. You had to have literally a light. There was actually a light that you could buy for this Game Boy that sort of, it sat in, and it was sort of flipped over the front, and it had a light on it. That's before computer games had backlights, so you had to play in the day, turn it off at night. So let's try switch it on. There you go, it's come on straight away. So oops, as you can see, it's come on. There is a bit of a buzz. I don't know if you can hear it. It sounds a bit loud to me because I can hear it from right where I am. I did notice that it was sort of would go off if you sort of shake it. There we go. See, it reset it. So obviously that's no good. You won't be able to play it like that. So once I shake it, it switches off. So that's probably why it wasn't coming on when I first picked it up. I don't know if there's something happening in the post. I have no idea, but there's a definite power issue. So I'm going to turn it off. Let's get the game out and take these batteries out as well. And I think the first thing to do is look at the battery terminals and make sure. There is a little bit of corrosion in here. There's a little bit of corrosion in here, sort of bluey white stuff. Nothing on this side, but there is a little bit down here. But it sounds like something's a bit loose. So I'm going to start by opening this up and having a look. So to open these, you need this sort of Nintendo game bit, the smaller one, to open these out. Oh no, actually no, I'm wrong. You don't use these on this. It's actually a is it tri-wing? I've got one somewhere. Let's have a look. I think it's this one. So it's sort of got, unlike a normal Phillips, which is sort of like a cross, this one's sort of like got three legs on it. So that's what we use to open this up. There you go. Tetris was my favorite game on the Game Boy. I was really good at it as a kid. I could beat every level on every speed, the highest level, the highest speed. And I remember I used to love competing with people. If you did have one of these, you might remember this sort of external connector here, and you could connect a cable between yours and someone else's, and it would pair them up together, and then you could play 2 players games. So Tetris was quite cool, where you would basically, whenever you sort of broke a line down on Tetris, it would add a line on the other person's. So that was quite cool, really competitive. So you had to really sort of break your lines down really quickly, because if the other person was breaking them faster than you, it just keep pushing your lines up, you know. So I really did enjoy playing the 2-player version and competing with some of my friends. So we got 6 screws in here, and it did sound a bit like there was something shaking inside, so it probably is just something loose inside. So we've got a ribbon cable, which I need to gently get out of here. Gosh, some of these things have been in here for so long. Right, so there's two boards in here, 2 main boards, and one on either side. So this side deals with the power. So I think we're going to look at this side first and see if we can see why this keeps cutting out. There's nothing I can see loose in here. Let's check out the pins. Nothing that should really cause it to cut out like that. Okay, so I'm going to take this bit out so I can see where the electrical contacts are, just to make sure that they are soldered properly and it's not any sort of loose connection or something. So this is just a normal Phillips screws to get these bits off. Okay. So the battery terminal is actually soldered directly onto the board here. And they actually look quite clean on here. There is some sort of dirt here. I'm not sure if that's something that's spilt in it. Otherwise it looks quite clean. It could be possibly the on and off switch that's a bit dodgy as well. I'm not sure. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in and put the batteries in and sort of try it while it's open and see if I can sort of find if there's anything loose that's causing it to switch off. this out. Okay, so I will, I need to put the screen back on. Okay, let's get the batteries in here. I do have another Game Boy, so I could use it to sort of test parts as well if I need to, which is always helpful on these things. Right. Oops. Let's try to turn it on now. Okay, so I'm not getting anything on now. Oh, it's come on. It's on now. Okay. Alright, it seems like whenever I touch this battery, it goes off. You can actually hear it crackling. So it seems to be this battery terminal we need to look at. This is what's causing the issue. Alright, I'm going to take it apart and look. I might just need to clean the contacts. So let's get these batteries out. So hopefully this one's an easy, straightforward fix. Yeah, so as I said earlier, there is some corrosion on this terminal. So I'm just going to give it a quick clean with some IPA, and let's see if that sorts it out. Probably scrape it back a little bit as well. So I'm using some isopropyl alcohol, and let's use that to see if we give it a little clean of the corrosion. The problem with a lot of these old handhelds, and I've done it before with ones that I've had, is we leave the batteries in them, and they can sit in a cupboard for years or a drawer for years with the batteries in, and then the batteries eventually leak. The acid leaks out on the batteries. So anything you're gonna sort of not use for a long time, always make sure you don't leave batteries in it, because the acid leaks, and sometimes it can be really bad. It can leak inside and sort of destroy the electrical components inside. So hard lesson I've learnt before. Alright, that looks a lot better. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks a lot cleaner. So let's try it now and see if that made any difference. So let's see. Oh, it's on now. Can't hear the noise anymore. It's still on. Yeah, I think that might have been it. So it looks like it's stopped going off now. Still on. result. Okay, so that is the first issue sorted out, and that's an issue that wasn't supposed to be an issue, but it was an issue when I got it. Now if we actually look at it, this is the main issue. Actually, let's see if the start and select buttons work first, like the original listing mentioned. So I'll put a game in there. Turn it on. Okay, it's a good sign, Nintendo. I don't know if you guys can actually see this now. So start. So it doesn't work. So you've got to sort of press it down quite hard. Select button's working better now. See, notice the start button, you sort of got to press it hard for it to work. So that's probably just needs a clean. I'm going to give that a clean before I move on. And let's make sure we get this start button issue fixed, and then we'll move on. An obvious issue I can see is the screen. The screen has lines on the right hand side. I don't know if you noticed that. And that's something that wasn't mentioned in the listing, but it's definitely evident, and it's almost sort of unplayable. So we're gonna have to look at the screen, but we can look at the screen at the same time when I've taken this all out while I'm cleaning the button. So there's a lot of screws on this side. Guys, thanks for watching and staying with me. Hope you guys enjoying the video. If you are, and you don't mind, give us a like, please, so that can sort of help other people to see the video. And also, if you want to see more videos, subscribe to the channel, as I will be uploading weekly on the channel. I've got a load of stuff that I need to repair. A lot of stuff. Probably at least 20 items right now that are sitting there waiting to be repaired. Some really cool stuff as well. So if you like that sort of stuff, then subscribe to the channel. There we go. It's probably just really sticky. Everything has been sitting there for so long. Right. So surprisingly looks very, very clean. Not sure what this is, but so this is our select button. This is our start button. It does look very clean. Well, obviously I'll give it a clean, but also I will clean the button pads as well. And these are the A and B buttons, and this is the D-pad. So let's just the Game Boy is really, really clean inside. There's some sort of corrosion or something just on the other side here, which I'll clean as well. But let's start with cleaning that, and let's see if we can get this start button to work properly first. So we'll give them all a clean. And this is our start button here that's giving us the problems. You can see that. Surprised how much dirt comes out of these things over the years of playing, and the dirt that gets through the gaps and grease and stuff like that. Alright, So I'm just going to give them all a clean while I'm here. All right. Okay, I'm just going to put a screw just to hold this, especially down the bottom where the buttons are. Okay, that should be alright. Should be good enough. Good enough to test. Alright, let's plug it in. Okay, so let's turn it on. And we are not getting anything on the screen. Didn't get a ping or anything. Turn it off again. Turn it on. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're back in business. Oh, look at that. Literally just touched it and it come on. Cool. So we sorted the start button out. It just literally needed a clean. Start button is working perfectly. Let's try the other buttons. Yeah, seems to be working. All right, cool. So we sorted that battery issue and the button issue. So now let's have a look at this screen again and see what the issue is with this screen. So if you look at the screen to the right hand side, you can see these lines, or you can see missing lines to the right of the two. When I put it dark, you can see it better now when it's completely dark. So that's an issue there with the screen. So it probably might just need a new screen, but we'll have a look. Yeah, you can see it here. That's going to mess up the gameplay. So let's have a look and see if we can see anything obvious. If I can't see anything obvious, I will take a screen from a different Game Boy and swap it in this one, and hopefully we'll get it working. And if it works, then I'll order a new screen for the other Game Boy, and then I'll put the other screen back in the Game Boy. So alright guys, so here's another Game Boy. The Game Boy I'm going to take the screen from. This one is absolutely filthy. Another one I got on eBay. Has the same issue with the screen falling out. Again, as I said, a common issue. I can't remember if there's anything else wrong with it, but I do know it does read the games and the screen is fine. So here we go. If I turn the contrast all the way to dark, you can see there's no missing lines on this screen. So this screen is fine. So this is the screen that we're going to use. So I'm going to take the screen out now, and then I'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, so I'm back. So this is the old dirty Game Boy with the good screen, and this is our Game Boy that we started with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just connect this whole thing in and see if it works. So this, if it does work, it won't have narrowed it down just to the screen, because there's other things on this board that could be faulty and causing the screen not to work. But at least it will give us an idea on what side of of the Game Boy the issue is, whether it's on the top board or the bottom board. All right, so let's turn it on. Okay, nothing at all. Let's switch it off again. So it's coming on, but we're not actually getting anything at all. Interesting. Okay, so the other Game Boy doesn't like this Game Boy for some reason. Let's take it out and put it in again. A bit dirty. This Game Boy was really dirty. This one here, the second Game Boy. Oh yeah, this one's filthy. Okay, well, we know the Game Boy itself works and the screen works, so let's see what happens now. Okay, that looks better. Oh, there we go. Yes. So as you can see, this one is working, no lines. So, yeah. So what we need to find out now is if it's the actual screen that's faulty, or if there's any other component on this board that's causing the issue before I order a screen. So this is the bad one here, this is the good one. And I do believe they are the same version. Yeah, they look the same version to me. So, I mean, to change these screens, it looks like they need to be soldered here. So it's not like a sort of pull it out and plug it in. You unscrew this, take out this solder here, and then sort of refit it. So I'm not sure if I want to go through all that. There's all these sort of contacts there as well. I'm gonna have to do something because I don't want to have to get a whole new board just to repair this. I really wanted to just sort of repair the screen. So okay guys, so this is the bad screen, and what I've decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this screen from the board and I'm gonna swap it with the other one. I say I'm going to attempt to do it. It's the first time I've ever done this. It's quite a tricky, delicate thing to do. I'm gonna have to desolder here. I'm going to have to desolder another similar pad inside there to get this out, take the other one off without destroying it, and put it onto this one. So this is the bad one, so obviously we'll start with the bad one in case I mess it up. At least I mess up the bad screen. So yeah, I'm going to try and do that first. So there's this pin here, sort of clamp, I guess, that's bridged across here. So it is soldered, so I am going to have to heat that and get this pin out. That's going to be the first thing that I'm going to have to do. I've just put my soldering iron on, just going to heat it up, and I'm going to try and soften it here. So I'm going to go onto the microscope just so you guys can see this a bit closer up as well. Alright guys, so I've just zoomed in from my camera actually. Don't need the microscope for this. I've zoomed into the camera and I'm going to see if we can get this apart. Alright, that was easy enough, that part. Now I'm gonna have to use the heat gun to desolder this and get this pin off. I got to be very careful with the heat that I don't put too much heat on it. Let's get that plugged in. So let's start off with a little bit of flux on this connector. I'm going to start off with about 380 and about 2. I'll start with 2 out of 8 or about 3 out of 8 on the heat flow. So let's try that. I'm going to rest this here. So that I can lift it when it's ready to lift. So this plastic is very delicate. I'm just going to rest this here so that it sort of lifts by itself. There you go, it's just pulled itself up. So what I want to do next now is flip this board, or flip the screen should I say, like this. And now we can take off the inside part. So if I can get this little screw out. Okay. So let's go again, a bit of flux again. Okay, so let's try this again. I think this will lift itself with the weight of the screen, will probably pop it up itself. So there you go, and we're out. So this is not easy to do, and I've noticed that I actually melted a little bit of the plastic as well. A little bit of this plastic here, sort of deformed it here, but oh well. Hopefully I can still screw it back on. So this is the bad screen. That's out. So first thing I'm going to do now is just clean up the old contacts. Let's get a little bit of flux again. Yeah, that looks good. And let's do this one here as well, the first one. Perfect. Especially as flux has gone on this pad. Gonna make sure I get this cleaned up properly. We'll have problems with these buttons again. This flux has sort of gone everywhere. Nice and clean. Right, so time to add some solder on that. So some flux again here. We're just going to tin it with some fresh solder. Alright guys, so this is the good screen. I'm actually gonna if I don't damage it, it's very close, as you can see, very close to this sort of plastic. So if I can get this one out without damaging it, then I'm gonna use this plastic sort of bezel in the one that we're gonna repair, and then when I'm working on this one, because I need to get a new screen, I'll see if I can get a new plastic one for the other Game Boy as well. So I gave it a little help there, just a little help, but it's come off nicely. I'm gonna start off first with this one. First thing is get this screw in. Yeah, looks nice and straight. Alright, so I'm going to try and just solder this with the soldering iron. So get some flux on there. I really want to get this fixed, just so that I can say I did it. This is not easy. But this is how I decided to spend my free time for some weird reason. Maybe a little bit too much on there. Take a little off. Alright guys, so this is it under the microscope. It looks horrible, but this is really magnified. So what I'm going to do is just have a look at the joints and make sure that they're all sort of solid and not moving, not coming off. So you can see where this is the trace that is soldered to here. They seem to be, and make sure that none of them are joined together. So let me give it a quick clean as well, and then we can see what it looks like a bit better. Okay, that looks a bit better. Yeah, they're not 100% online, but they are in contact, which is the main thing. So that's one side done. Alright guys, so I'm just going to take this in the microscope, have a quick look, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so I've checked in the microscope and it looks like we're good to go. Just trying to show you guys on the camera. But I checked, there's seems that the contacts are making and none of them are shorting, so I think it's time to try it out. Fingers crossed. Okay guys, so I'm ready to put it back together, and let's try it out. All right, ready? Hey, no lines. I actually got it on. So as you can see, yeah, if I put it all the way to the dark, we can see we've got a perfect square. So all our lines are gone. Results. All right, so I'm going to try and put this back together now, and let's see if we can get this working. All right, guys, so I've put it back together, and let's try it out and see if it works. And yes, it does. Excellent. Let's have a look on dark. So we have got all our pixels. Let's check the buttons are working now. So obviously we had issues with the start button before and the select button, which is working. Start button works. Left. Up. And down. Lovely. Yep. Alright, I'm rubbish at this, but you get the point. So it's working. Alright, so next thing to do, or last thing to do, is to glue this bezel back on. So that's it, guys. Job done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as usual, thanks for watching, and yeah, let's see you on the next one. Take care.